These are the lesson 5.3 notes on rates. You have just finished talking about ratios, and you know that a ratio compares two quantities. So rate takes that one step further. It's a ratio that has two quantities using different units. All right, so it's just that we are going to add units or different units to our ratio. Then a unit rate, the word unit means one. When you are using base 10 blocks, sometimes we call that the units because it's one. It compares a quantity to one unit of another quantity. We use units a whole lot at the grocery store when we're trying to compare prices of things and you want to find out which is the better buy on cereal. And one cereal comes in a big box and the other cereal comes in a little box, and you're trying to figure out which one is the cheapest. And so you have to figure out how much it is, like per ounce or per pound, rather than per box, because the boxes aren't the same size. And then equivalent rates are like equivalent ratios. They have the same unit rate. So you could have your 2 boxes of cereal might end up costing the same because they have the same unit rate. So for example, if you have $27 for 3 pizzas, I'm just going to sketch some pizza here. There's a pizza, and there's another one, and there's another one. Let's see. And I know that we like cheese pizza, and maybe we like mushroom pizza, and we might like some olive pizza. All right. Then the rate is $27 to 3 pizzas. Uh-oh, I have to write small. All right. So this whole thing is the rate. And then the unit rate would be $9 per 1 pizza. Okay, so unit rate is the amount for one, where a rate could be the amount for any number. We're going to look at a couple new strategies. We already looked at using a ratio table, and I love a ratio table, and you can also use it as a rate table too. That's my favorite strategy. But another one that we can use is the double number line. It shows the rate at which you earn points for successfully hitting notes in a music video game, right? So in one number line, we are going up we're counting by 150s. So both number lines start at 0, and on the top we are going by 150s. And notice that they have to put the units on, because when you're talking about rate, you have to have the units. And and then the second number line, they're telling you how many notes you hit. So write a rate that represents this information. You can pick any point here and write a rate. Let's pick this one. Right here, it is a rate would be 600 points to 4 notes. All right. And there are lots of different rates you can see on here, right? Here's a rate, here's a rate, here's a rate, here's a rate. So for the you try, you just have to write another rate that represents that situation. I'd like to point out, though, this is a special rate. That's the unit rate. You get 150 points per note. Okay, so when it is per 1, that's the unit rate. All right, now we have the rate table, which I really like. In example 2, finding a unit rate, we have a piece of space junk. What is space junk? That's all that stuff that we fire up into space. It's getting so crowded up there now. I saw that they have invented like a machine, kind of like a robot, that goes up there and can clean out some of the junk so that it's not smacking into one another. Anyway, this piece of space junk travels 5 miles in 8 seconds, and we want to know how far it travels per second. So we want to find its, because that's per 1 second, that's its unit rate, right? So you can make a ratio table. It's really important to have everything labeled. So the first part is the distance. It tells us it travels 5 miles in 8 seconds. So we're going to put the distance in the miles. Sorry, we're going to do the distance and the time. And our problem says that the 5 goes with the miles and the 8 goes with the seconds. You can also tell what to put in your chart by looking at what you're trying to find out. I'm trying to find out how far per second. So the far is the distance that goes on the top. And then the division line, this is like divide. And it's per. And then the seconds. All right, so this is like your fraction bar, and it's the division and per are the same thing. And then in my chart, then I want to know how it is per 1 second. How do I get from 8 to 1? I divide by 8. And then what's 5 divided by 8? It's 5 divided by 8. It's a fraction. So how far does it travel per second? 5/8 miles per second. Or I can write that as, 5/8. I guess I could put, oh, yeah, like that. I was just having a little moment. That's 5 miles per 8 seconds, right? 5 miles per 8 seconds is the same as 5/8 of a mile per 1 second. All right. Then you have a you try, 2 you tries. I went ahead and put in the tables for you. So in this one, you just have to do the math and fill in the answer. And here you have to get the information from the problem and put it in and then do the math. All right. In example 3, we have a chef buying 6 pounds of salmon fillets for $51. How much will the chef pay for 9 more pounds of salmon fillets? Interesting. Okay. So first look at my problem, and it says we want to know the cost. There's the how much per pound. So that tells me that I want to put cost and per pound. All right. And then you go into the problem and you find out what you already know. Well, I already know it was $51 for 6 pounds. So I'm going to put that in. And then I know that I want 9 pounds. So I'm going to put that there. I don't know how to get from 6 to 9. 6 is not a factor of 9. Oh, I could use the unit rate and find out how much it is for 1 pound. That's the price per pound. And then I could use the price per pound to find out how much it is for 9 pounds. So how do I get from 6 to 1? Oh, I have to divide by 6. And here I'm also going to divide by 6. So just like in fractions, whatever you do to the denominator, you do the same thing for the numerator. And I'm going to grab my calculator because I don't know 51 divided by 6. It might not be a whole number. 51 divided by 6, let's see. Oh, it wasn't a whole number. It is 8.5. What is 8.5 in money? That's $8.50. I might draw a note there. That is $8.50. All right, because money isn't 8.5. Notice that the dollar sign is before the number, even though you say $8, put the dollar sign first, and you need to have the zero after the 50 cents. Okay, and then how do we get from 1 to 9? Well, we multiply. We do not multiply by 2. Miss Who? It's been a long day. Multiply by 9. Do the same thing at the top. It is okay for you to use a calculator. So let's go 8.5 times 9 equals $76.50. We will learn how to multiply decimals, but we're not quite there yet. So you can just use the calculator to do the math, okay? Right. And then, oh, my favorite, we get to use the double number line again. Now we're going to buy 2 pounds of tilapia fillets for $16. What is the cost for 7 pounds of tilapia fillets? So again, they both have to start at 0. And we know that we are looking at look at the end. It says it's the cost per, sometimes they say for, but for is the same as pounds. So put the cost on the top and the pounds on the bottom. And then 2 pounds is 16. So I go across and I'm counting by 2's in my pounds, 2, 4, 6, 8. And I'm counting by 16's in my dollars. So the 2 has to match up with 16, and 4 has to match up with 32, and 6 has to match up with 48. And then we want to know the cost for 7 pounds. So 7 is halfway between 6 and 8. So I need the point that is halfway between 48 and 64. How can you do that? How can I find halfway between 48 and 64? I could count up. I could use my fingers and count up. Or I could do 64 minus 48, which is kind of like counting up. See, I need 2 to get up to 50. And then I need 10 to get up to 60. So that's 12. And 4 more would be 16. So this whole space is 16. And then I can divide it by 2 because I want to find halfway. And then I have to take the 8 and add it on there. So what's 48? So I need 48 plus 8 is 56. We just found an average or a mean. Did you know that? We wanted to find what was halfway in between, and we found an average. So it is $56 per 7 pounds. It's another weird thing. Why is that the abbreviation for pounds? I'll never know. All right, you have 2 tries. Your download speed is 3 megabytes every 4 seconds. How many megabytes can you download in 1 minute? You should use a table for this one because 3 and 4, those are small numbers. And so to get it all the way up to a minute, how many seconds is a minute? That's 60 seconds. So to use a double bar all the way up to 60 seconds is going to be really long. So use a table. And then for the second one, you do need to practice doing the double number line. So, but you've got a good example right here. And so you're going to do that, but you're only going to go up to 10 seconds.